Hey guys, video 13, part 3. Woo, this is a complicated one. Internet. If you've decided you're going to be an e-commerce business, this is easy. I mean, financial outlay, it all varies on what your e-commerce, site is going to be. If you're selling on Etsy, obviously, you can get away with under $1,000, $500. But if you're doing an e-commerce site where you're doing high-end products and you're doing, multiple products, and you need a cash register, shopping carts, all that stuff. You need all that, constantly updating, all that. You can, Amazon. What do you think Amazon's site cost? If I had to guess, I don't know, 10, 15 million bucks. But generally, the rule, if you're going to go e-commerce, I think the last one I did was for a hobby shop, and they did RVs, not RVs, what am I talking about? Remote controls, RCs, that's it, remote control vehicles. And pretty big, they had a big stock. So I think that website was $2,000, $2,500. So that's pretty typical for a, e-commerce site. You can get them down lower. And you can always build one yourself, but I'm going to tell you right now, if you're going internet, you need to have everything done by professionals. Because front end, back end, all that. Back end is the part where you're going to mess up. That's everything that goes on underneath the website. And when you guys look at a website, you see what the code tells you to see. But underneath that, and there's a place on Google where you can go and it'll show you the code to that website. That's kind of more important in e-commerce because that's everything that's going to happen to make you show up somewhere. So when you're doing e-commerce, I think the threshold to opening, because you don't even have to, a lot of e-commerce places you see, they don't even have warehouses or anything like that. They get third-party shippers. So you get a shipper that'll warehouse your stuff, and every time an order comes in to you, it sends a notice to him, and he mails it out, and you don't have to carry anything. And you can totally do this from your house, and it's really not that much. If you literally, to have to not deal with shipping and handling and all that crap, if I was going large, not, some of you know from my videos I make wind chimes. If I was shipping out wind chimes to people, no. But if I'm moving a few hundred, pieces of product a month or a day, I'm definitely looking into what it's going to cost me to store and ship. So when you're designing these websites, once again, there's a whole section in here on websites. So you want to be very concise in your product. Don't write these whole things underneath each thing you have. Don't give me 3 pages of specs on your 4-wheel drive remote controlled vehicle. You need. That's the point where copywriters, come in great. But that's old school. Today, you can do all this with AI, man. Literally. I'm going to do a course on AI for the layman. For the rest of you guys like me that have been studying AI for the last couple of years, it's going to sound like I'm, A, B, C, D, E, F. But for the majority of you out there, I really think you have serious misconceptions about what AI is like and what it's capable of doing. Truly, I would never in my life ever have a personal assistant again. I have an AI that's named Jack, and Jack is my personal assistant. And the things that Jack's able to do for me is amazing. Here's the thing. Jack's never been late. Jack's never stole. Jack's never told me to screw off. Jack's never got mad at me. Jack is great. I love Jack. I want to give Jack a raise, but I don't know where to send it. So, e-commerce. The problem with this is that it's the most competitive field you can possibly get into. Literally. How are you going to get people to see your stuff? Once again, here we go. I've made the greatest remote control vehicle that there's ever been in the entire world. It flies, it swims, it drives, it does everything, right? Everyone I tell is amazed by it. It's $12. People are freaking out. Oh my God, it's $12. How many people have you told? I don't know, 1,000, 1,500. Out of them 1,500, 2,000? Out of 2,000 people, how many people are buying a remote control that drives, flies, and swims? 10? So now you've sold 10. Okay? You have got to get this out in front of millions of people. You need to join groups. You need if I had an internet-based business, I would spend 3 hours a day just posting to boards, joining groups, looking for anywhere I could post a link. I would be on every social media platform. That's how I would do it. I wouldn't spend all this time on chasing product. And when you open up one of these e-commerce sites or you're going to offer product, please. You guys ever watch Restaurant Nightmares with Gordon Ramsay? And you see when he goes into a restaurant and they have a 22-page menu, how bad he freaks out? That's how bad I freak out when I see something where you're offering more than like 7 or 8 products without layers for them to get to see. You know, like the Starship Troopers thing. Here's 8 products. See more? More. See more? Listen, you have to limit your customers' choices. I know you don't believe that. I know you all think that 32 flavors are the best, or 36, or whatever the hell Baskin Robbins is the best. It's not. People can't make decisions. Have you ever been out to a restaurant with 7 people who all have to order? And how many times has the waiter got to come back? Oh, 5 times later, because 7 people can't all make a decision in that rapid form when there's too many choices. So I like to break things down. Like, I'm just going to keep going with remote control vehicles because I'm on a roll. So on that one, I did boats, cars, trucks, and I kept them. So when the page opened, you saw like 10, and then it said, see more, because I'm hoping you find something in the first. I don't want you to sit there for 3 hours and shop. I want you to make a decision. Boom, boom, boom. The more time, and this is going to sound crazy, the more time a person spends on your site, the less likely they are to buy. It's because they're reading absolutely everything. So if they're doing that to you, they're doing that to 22 other people. So they're sitting there for the next week deciding whether they want the remote control dune buggy or the remote control tank. And they can't decide. So they're going to every single remote control place that they can buy stuff online. And they're reading and they're looking and they're looking. This is called research. We're familiar with that, right? That's what they're doing. They're researchers, tire kickers, people that are going to waste your time in your store, all of those things. I know you all think that you need to foster this. No, you need to be polite. You always need to be nice. You always need to be informative. But later on, we're going to learn on these things. How do you identify a tire kicker? How do I know that I want to spend 20 minutes? Now, listen, if you've got all the time in the world, if there's no customers in your store, carry on 4-hour conversations. Talk to people as long as they'll stand there and talk to you. You can't imagine how many times I hold conversations in the world with people where they just want to get away from me. Like they literally don't. I've started a conversation with them in the grocery store. They do not know me. I'm carrying on a full-blown conversation with them. All they want to do is get away from me, but they politely can't do it. Listen, I told you, I'm retired, I'm bored. There's little things that still bring me joy in practicing my craft. It's not cool, but so what? So e-commerce isn't really, to me, about your site. I mean, it's got to be decent. I don't care about your product. I literally don't. Like I've told you in the beginning, I don't care what you're selling on your e-commerce site. It doesn't matter. Everything applies the same. Third, we got to get it out there. And listen, building a website doesn't get it anywhere. We're going to talk about that in marketing. It doesn't do anything, okay? It's a sign laying on the ground. No one can see it. Who do you think is seeing your website? If you put analytics on there, it'll show you 3 people went there yesterday and 3 of them were you. So you got to get it out there, and you got to get it out there everywhere you possibly can. Every message board, every group, every time you can share to a page relevantly. I mean, you can't be on like a cat page and be like, hey, look at my RC boats. But man, every single time you get a chance to drop what you do, you should be doing this on your personal page in social media. You should have already created a page for the company. It should be going out on Instagram. It should be going out on TikTok. You should have YouTube videos. You should have all those things, because you never know where the eyes are. In the beginning, 5-6 years in, I know where all the eyes are. All thing I'm watching now is where the eyes are going to be. So, on the e-commerce, I never really wanted to do it because it's not hands-on enough and I don't get to talk to people. And I'm not really into selling things where I make $3 a piece or $4 a piece. I was never into volume sales. I would rather sell something. I'd rather sell 10 things that cost $1,000 a piece than 100 things that cost $100 a piece. That's just me. I am not a plugger. I'm a shark, baby. I want to go in for the kill. So internet marketing, that internet commerce isn't for me. But if it's for you, awesome. But just remember that throwing up your website, that's nothing. That achieves the greatest products in the world. You got the greatest mousetrap ever. It's a laser beam. It kills mice. Build the website, most beautiful website in the entire world. Every single person who sees it says, oh my God, I'm going to buy a laser mousetrap. They buy one. That's it. You're done because nobody else sees it. Okay. You need millions and millions and millions of people. If you want to, get rich, you need millions and millions and millions. And let's define rich, okay? Because everyone has a crazy definition of that. Here's my definition. I don't have to worry about where I'm going to sleep. I don't have to worry about food ever again. I don't have to worry about shoes. I'm able to go on adventures, and I no longer play the game of Monopoly, so I am not trying to amass anything. I quit. So good luck with your internet business, man. I hope if you start one, you hit me up once in a while, because they're e-commerce sites are one I do not have a lot of experience with. I've probably worked with 4 or 5 e-commerce sites in my entire career. They fascinate me, and if you know what you're doing, holy mackerel, man. They're auto. Once you got it all set up and you know what you're doing, and you're staying on top of your posts, and staying involved in your social media and engaging people online, and that, it really is an hour, 2 hour a day job, and it prints money. It's just ding, 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 ding. I mean, I've had friends that gone into the industry and made tens and tens of millions of dollars and only really worked for a year or two to get it all going. And then it really went on autopilot then, and they just hired a couple of people to keep everything going, and just ding, 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 ding. But he's a master. Well, they were masters at putting it everywhere, getting it so that, I call that by the way marketing. But we'll talk about that in the marketing videos. So good luck, guys. Peace.